Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the startup community above and beyond Hangout. This is the second edition that we do in parallel in Lisbon and Porto. So you can see from Porto, you can see in the screen what is happening in Lisbon at Ferroviário. And I hope in Lisbon you can see what is happening here. So I'd like to start thanking uh, Porto Municipality and UPTEC for this partnership that allows us to do this parallel edition. We are growing our community. After the first edition, a very successful one, we have again full house, more than 200 people from in Lisbon and Oporto sharing this above and beyond hangout. And let me start by having here a Eurovision Sound Contest moment and ask Patricia in Lisbon how are things going there? Nice weather in Lisbon.
Yes, the room is hot. Yes. So as you can see, the room is full, and we're ready to go, Antonio.
Okay, great. So I hope you enjoy this hangout. For us, it's very important your presence here. That's why we do. We'll have from now on in each edition an investor partner in each hangout. So it's an addition to the previous features that we have. And I would like to welcome Schilling in Lisbon. They are our investor partners for today. And thank Schilling for the presence and for helping us also to communicate and to reach our community in order to make this as most participate as possible. So thank you, Schilling, for participating. We have other investors in the room. We have Portugal Ventures also here in Porto. Thank you, Teresa, for being here. And we are growing the community, and that is very important for us, not only in Lisbon, but also outside Lisbon. And this is a big thing to us. Um, Two notes about our activity at Startup Portugal. We will have next uh, 3rd of April, so beginning next week, we'll have the launch of a new subsidy program, a very important one that is called Empreende 21, Empreende 21. And this is a program that we developed in partnership with EFP. It's the Portuguese Employment Institute, which will allow us to give a grant, a subsidy to whoever is registered in this employment institute and wants to create their own job, their own venture that creates new jobs. And this will allow for investment plans with capex until 200K, public participation or subsidy. The second thing I'd like to share with you is that today we had the voting in our parliament of the new startup law. It's also an important step. The voting was the speciality, how we call it here in Portugal, the speciality vote. So we are now making additional steps in order to have the final approval of the parliament of this important legislative initiative that we help to design with the government, and we hope that is going to change the startup community in Portugal because it has a legal frame for startups for the first time in Portugal, and also adds a new fiscal regime to the stock options, which will allow us to be competitive in that regard, comparing with other countries. So it's an important step. Let's hope that the final vote that will occur shortly allows us to put this in place quickly. And we also share with you when the final voting will occur and when this will be started to be applied. Well, today we have as theme artificial intelligence. As you know, artificial intelligence has been growing and crept into the business sector, and it's now part of everyday topics of entrepreneurship. Everybody talks about artificial intelligence. In fact, if you want some numbers, comparing to 2017, currently, the adoption of artificial intelligence is 2.5 times higher. So imagine the growth that we are seeing. Also, the organizations, companies use more and more natural language generation and computer vision. And this has more than doubled in the last 5 years, since 2018 until today. So it's an emerging technology. And as an emerging technology, we are seeing now only the tip of the iceberg. This means that we have several new opportunities with this technology. We also have several doubts, and we have a lot of things to discuss. Some of these things can be a big, interesting opportunity for startups and entrepreneurs. Others can be threats. So let's talk a little bit about it with your help. And I hope you also participate in this discussion because it's a real hot topic to discuss. Before we enter in this discussion, I will pass on to Lisbon again because we are going to have a pitch session, and Patricia from Startup Portugal in Lisbon will present the next speech. Thank you very much. Welcome and enjoy this hangout.
So now for the first speech, I will call Carolina Amorim, CEO and founder of Emotai. Good luck.
Hello. Will there be slides? All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolina. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Emotai. And let me tell you how Emotai's personalized approach is revolutionizing mental health care as we know it. Burnout has officially been declared the occupational phenomenon by the World Health Organization. In fact, after COVID-19, it was supposed to get better, right? It hasn't. It's gotten worse, way worse. 4 out of 6 employees are currently at risk of burnout. And the problem is current solutions are just not good enough. They are typically a one-size-fits-all. They are reactive, which means they come in already too late, and they are not scalable. This is where Emotai comes in. In less than 2 months, we can reduce anxiety by 30%, the risk of burnout by 20%, we can increase productivity by 53%, and over 77% of our participants show improvement. This is all thanks to our proprietary programs that are personalized and generated by our AI. It takes into consideration your risk of burnout, your type of burnout, and your unique physiology. It's always validated by experts, and it's built on a set of exercises. Thanks to our headband, which you only need to wear throughout the 5 to 10 minutes exercises, you can see in real time how well each exercise is going. This can be a breathing, relaxation, or focus exercise. This means you don't need to have an expert next to you, so you don't need to commute to your psychologist's office. You can do them whenever you need them, and you can actually see if it's working. Exercises get progressively more difficult throughout the program, and this is in order to increase the efficacy and also the engagement. As for the HR team of the companies, we provide very high-level usage reports to keep employees' private information private. In terms of competition, we, because are focused in a tailor-made approach, we have a higher success rate, we have a lower churn, and we have a higher typical usage. We have done 4 successful pilots, we have 30 in the pipeline, and we've helped over 300 people identify their burnout. We are a team of biomedical engineers, data scientists, and neuroscientists who have the skill set and are passionate to revolutionize mental health care as we know it. So try Imotai today and see for yourself the power of personalization mental health care. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. And now I'll call Porto. Porto. We want to hear you. Okay. Hi, Calvin. Can you hear me?
Hi there. Yeah.
Hello.
Hear me?
Welcome.
Hear me well?
So you're good to go.
Perfect. Whenever I see the presentation, I guess here. Yeah. Okay. So hi, I'm Kelvin Fernandez, co-founder and CEO of Neil AI, and we are basically unlocking business capabilities using data intelligence. We are a consulting company in AI, and we focus on providing our clients adaptability to new market trends and efficiency using data. Basically, we help each and every company at every stage define their AI strategy, so they can mitigate all risks and they can actually adapt the technology to their actual needs. We have been working on all core areas of AI, a lot of machine learning, computer vision, and NLP, as you can guess nowadays, and across industries. So we have clients in financial services, healthcare, telecommunications, automotive, among many others. As consultants, we believe we need to share a lot of knowledge. So we basically share our methodology with the public, with the consulting, with the development of these solutions. And we have developed this methodology that we call Data Ignite, and it's basically design thinking for AI. The idea of this methodology is that every company can embed AI in a safe way, mitigating all risks, understanding not only from a technical point, because I believe AI is more of a human task than a technical one. You know, what are the IP challenges? How are you going to raise funds being an AI company, etc.? So we have published part of this methodology, and you can check more about it on our YouTube channel. So I guess most of you are startups trying to embed AI in your businesses. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you will see a lot of insights from our projects, a lot of mistakes that we have done ourselves on them, as well as the main trends on the industry. You can check our ebook with our methodology. I guess most of you will find it relevant being startups in this area. As clients, we cover both corporate and startups. We have clients like ranging from billions of dollars of revenue yearly, like Continental or State, one of the largest energy producers in. Are you hearing me well? I'm getting a lot of feedback here. Okay, like one of the top energy producers in Germany. Here is better. Okay, yeah, that much better. Here we are getting a lot of feedback. Not sure how it is in Lisbon or not. Okay. As well as startups. So with corporates, we basically are helping them optimize their internal processes. With the startups, we are basically helping them build new data products. Our clients are all over the world and across industries, and we aim for long-term partnerships. I know everybody says this, but we can actually say it because most of our clients are with us since our foundation, and we're actually releasing spin-off companies with them with joint products we have built together. Projects, we have worked a lot of marketing and CRM, optimizing sales funnels for all of these companies, from lead scoring to churn prevention, recommender systems, a lot of projects in healthcare, both from a patient basis, like detecting certain diseases like cervical cancers, where we have patents, publications, and trials on low resource settings, as well as optimizing hospitals, also hospitals operations. And a lot of projects also in financial services, from credit scoring, fraud prediction, among others, and also in industries such as automotive, travel, retail, among many others. So if you want to execute AI in your business, let us know. If you are working in AI in a non-technical area, like PCs, like IP, like marketing, let us know, because we want to onboard people from other areas as consultants to our team so we can provide these services also. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kelvin. And now to finish this pitch sprint, I call Marcia Pereira from Bandora.
Hi. Okay. Well, I'm Marcia. I'm CEO and founder of Pandora, a solution that turns smart buildings into autonomous. Smart buildings are overrated. Okay, they gave us massive amounts of data, but no one does anything with it. They gave us interoperability and complexity. That's why facility managers don't know how to manage smart buildings. That's why we keep spending lots of money and lots of energy, and occupants remain uncomfortable. So what is the solution? Bandora's facility manager can help you overcome the complexity. We are a 24/7 dedicated virtual facility manager in order to monitor, analyze, correlate data, and take decisions back into your building. We can optimize your air conditioner, and each 5 minutes we can decide when to turn on and when to turn off, what is the best set point temperature in order to achieve the best occupants' comfort needs and the best energy performance. And you may ask, how do we know the occupants' comfort needs? Because we have a mobile app, which is Bandora Me, where occupants can vote temperature, luminosity, and comfort. And this will help us to achieve up to 40% of energy savings. Actually, our first proof of concept, we achieve 63 energy savings only in the air conditioning. Well, there are a lot of startups in this ecosystem, but we are 100% software. We integrate with the hardware that already exists in only 1 week. And our predictive models, they work. If it is a medium-sized office or a quick service restaurant, our competition, they have consultancy projects. That's why we are proudly a B2B software as a service. And we charge a monthly fee accordingly with the size of the building, accordingly with the amount of data that we have to process. And about, okay, there's missing a slide, but I want to talk about the market, that it's not only a big and a fast-growing market, but the number that I want to tell you is that 15% of the buildings, they are already smart, and they are ready to be Bandorized. We just started sales. We signed the first contracts last year, and these 3 months we already achieved the projections for this year in sales pipeline. That's why we are really excited, and we already have more than 100 buildings working and being optimized into our platform. What we are looking for is to close a seed round with €950,000 in order to hire a head of marketing and sales, and of course pursuing our research and development. Of course, nothing was possible besides our fantastic team. We are building experts, IoT experts, and AI experts. Thank you so much. Bandora, when smart is not enough.
Thank you. Great pitch. Okay, so now we'll go to our talk. So first I'll call the speakers that will be here in Lisbon. So first, Ruth Sousa Vasco, who will be moderating this panel. You probably know her from The Next Big Idea. She's been reporting on startups for more than 10 years, right?
Yep.
And Jorge da Ponte is the Vice President of Instituto dos Registros e Notariado. Thank you, Jorge. And now from Porto, I call Liliana Ferreira, Chair at Fraunhofer, Portugal, and Humberto Aires Pereira, CEO of Rose. Can you hear me? Liliana?
I think so.
Yes, we can.
Great.
Very well.
Olá.
Welcome, Humberto. Okay, so
Hi. Hi there.
now I'll pass the word to you, Ruth, okay? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Portugal, for inviting us for being here today, this evening. Hi, Liliana. Hi, Humberto. I don't know if you can listen to me by now, but I hope so. We will start, well, we are going to talk about the thing that everyone is talking about. It's AI. And in a room full of entrepreneurs, it would be difficult to not do it. Even hairdressers are asking about AI, so ChatGPT is everywhere. And to know better, the ones that are going to give us an informed conversation and also an educated guest about the future of AI, I will start by asking each of you to present what you've been doing. A quick preview, not a long one, because we want to have time to the conversation. So, Jorge, let me start by you. You are right here, so it's easier than going to Porto by now.
Thank you. My name is Jorge de Ponte. I'm the Vice President of the Portuguese Registry Institute. I have a degree in informatics and management and a master's degree in economics. I've worked in the banking sector and in the industrial property sector, and right now I'm Vice President of the Registry Institute.
And you are leading some of the most innovative
we have
projects.
We are doing some very interesting things with the investments from this year and the next 2 to 3 years. And the projects we have is to transform the registry area and to do new public services, to do online services also with AI and with other interesting technologies.
Piece of cake.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Humberto, Liliana, who wants to begin with? Humberto?
Okay, I'll go then.
Besides,
my name is Humberto.
sorry, I would just say that this because when we were together last time, you were just trying to describe how you are defying small companies like Microsoft and Google because you had a better idea. So maybe you can start with that.
Yes, so we are trying to do a spreadsheet. So we are a competitor to Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel, rose.com. And we've actually been playing a lot with AI, mostly integrating what's already available from OpenAI. It's already so inexpensive, so fast. And we started by bringing intelligence to the cells of a spreadsheet, right? So translating a cell, classifying a cell, all of these types of objects. And now we're moving into the table level actions, right? So creating tables, analyzing tables and stuff like that. This is what we're doing.
Should I proceed?
Yes. They're back, I think.
You're listening to us.
Yes.
Can you listen to us?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Should I proceed? Well, first of all, good afternoon to all, and especially to the ones in Porto. Let me justify this. So I have a broken ankle. I'm recovering from it. So that's why this little bench is in here. So thank you very much for your care. Well, Liliana Ferreira, I come from Fraunhofer, Portugal. I think I will have the chance to explain what Fraunhofer, Portugal is. But I think that important to this is my background. My background is actually in mathematics and computer science. I did a PhD already several years ago in a topic that today we talk so much, natural language processing. It was in the introduction, namely in the extraction of information from medical reports. So that is my academic background. And from then I had, of course, the opportunity of applying it in several areas, in industry and academia, in research, which I think I will have the chance to share after. Thank you.
You will have for sure. So let us go into a deep conversation about each of your projects and also to try to understand what AI means today and for the next years. George, you are working with the GovTech strategy and you are using AI for that. What does it mean and what we can expect from the modernization of public administration, and also what kind of solutions and examples are expected with your work and with this new strategy using AI?
Well, the Portuguese Justice Ministry presented the GovTech strategy last month, I believe. It's brand new. It's funded on top of a lot of experience on projects with AI and innovative technologies. We already did, the Ministry of Justice with the court area did a project for anonymization of court sentences so that they can be published and removed all the personal data with natural language processing and tagging of concepts. We've did a generation of company names. We have public service for companies to register themselves. And one of the key problems we identify is the way that entrepreneurs have to identify the name of the company. And so we have a team of about 5 people that are, one of their jobs is thinking of names for companies so that it's easier and as a much
Everyone is smiling here.
Yeah. It's easier to start a company, and their imagination was not it was not what it used to be, because this service was made about 15 years ago, and so with the help of AI, we've developed an algorithm that can generate names that are not confutable with other company names, and that they can be used for entrepreneurs to speed the process of company registration. We already have also for the nationality requests a service that can analyze documents. When you request the Portuguese nationality, you have to present a lot of documents from your original country, and we have to speed the way these cases are analyzed and processed. And we decided to also do an algorithm that can read the document, see if it's authentic or not, and do some and collect data from the document so that it can speed the analysis of the process. And it's also done with AI, with machine learning. This was done, all of these 3 projects, one with academia, with a university, and the other 2 with startups that helped us to build this project. And the GovTech strategy is made for the Ministry of Justice and all the departments of the Ministry of Justice to experiment technology and to see how this new technology can help us to speed the process and help citizens and employees. We have 2 ways of all the startups and academia and other companies to help us. We have something that we call the Justice Challenge, where any department of the Ministry of Justice can explain a challenge that they have. Currently, we have an open call for the industrial property to any startup help us with identification of trademarks. So any of you who've already registered a trademark, you can register a name or an image, to simplify. And there are a lot of questions regarding if, for instance, this startup logo is registered or not. And so the challenge is to build a system, a platform, a mobile app, something that can help entrepreneurs and also the employees from the Ministry of Justice to identify this logo, the main image or anything is registered or not, or if it can be registered, because maybe there are some other logos that are similar with this. So this is a kind of projects where we present the challenge and they are hoping for someone to respond to this challenge. And the other one is an hackathon. Most of you probably already attend an hackathon. We are going to do an hackathon on the last quadrimester of this year, trimester, sorry, of this year. And it's a data hackathon. We are going to present a big data set of business companies, where they are creative, if they are active or not active, what kind of economic activity they do. And we are thinking of a challenge in this hackathon that can be useful to test this data, to create new products and services around this data. So these two kinds of initiatives in this GovTech strategy, we are hoping that they can present us with new solutions so that we can do better services to our citizens and companies that have to request some service from the Ministry of Justice and from the Registry Institute.
After the hackathon that will happen in the last quarter of the year, what is the timeline that you have or the implementation of those projects?
Well, I did already, previously of being in the Registry Institute, I was with the Industrial Property Institute. We did an hackathon also with the University of Coimbra, and it took us around 3 to 4 months to then create the projects and then deliver a solution. So I'm hopeful that with an implementation of a data lake and with this hackathon, in around a year from now, probably we'll have new solutions and open APIs, data APIs, so that every one of you can try this data outside of the hackathon and build some new solutions too. So.
Okay, let's move to Porto again. Humberto, you have recently integrated ChatGPT with Rose spreadsheets. Can you share with us if it was just, and don't take me wrong with just, a first mover advantage, or is it more than that? And what do you expect to achieve in your product and in your fight for the market?
Yep, so thanks for the question. I think our objective is always to move a bit faster than the big players, right? Because they have to sell something to all of their users. Microsoft has 800 million spreadsheet users, and Google has 350 million users. So they cannot really scale that thing immediately, so we can try to pierce a little bit. And so what we're trying to do is really create the most magical experience, because this is what will give us more new users, right? The more people that feel a wow factor. And so we wanted to get to a position where as soon as you load data into a spreadsheet, we will already start giving you intelligence on that data. And now there's many restrictions to that. The first one is what kind of data is there. The other one is even this new AI mod cannot consume a table with 50,000 rows. So what we did is cheat the system, right? And this is what, I guess, what every startup does. So we just pick up the headers of the table plus a couple of rows, right? And then we tell ChatGPT, imagine that there's a table like this, but where there's an arbitrary large number of rows, which you will never know about. What kinds of questions would a CEO, an investor, a data analyst, and a marketing manager ask on this data set? And so then we do some pruning, some special sauce, and we get some nice questions. And then you can add your own questions. And then once we get those questions, we say to ChatGPT as well, this is all behind the scenes, right? And then we ask it, given that question, what is the query which is solvable on a spreadsheet that you would do to answer this question? And again, because ChatGPT is pretty good with words, but is especially good in my very limited understanding of the technology, it's very good of mapping fuzzy requests, so natural language words, to an actual syntax. It's especially good at that. So we tell it, okay, you have to map these questions to a particular SQL. And by the way, spreadsheets and rows as well, we all support the query function, which is kind of like an SQL, which is a way of solving problems. And so eventually, we map all these questions behind the scene into actual syntax that we can execute. So we execute the syntax behind the scenes, and then we inject it back the third time into ChatGPT and say, how would you answer this question with this data in a natural way? And so as soon as you load a table, we'll be able to start telling you the average sales is this, and the most sell product is that, and the best campaign is Y and Z. And it all feels extremely magical, but it's all really just a set of basic magic tricks, which really are not magic, it's just illusions, which we play in order to be fast. And this is what I really recommend everyone to do. You have to play a lot with the product until you have these magic moments of understanding that this fits perfectly into our products. And anyway, this is what I'm describing, is what we're going to launch maybe in a month. This is what we're building right now. So we've already tested it. It works quite well. But it's this, many products let you ask questions with AI to your data set. But we thought, why even force the user to ask questions? We should be asking the best questions. And so this is what we're doing. I don't know if it answers your question completely, but we're trying to move fast and not get ourselves into the deep tech problems, because they are extremely expensive for us to solve. And most people, from a user standpoint, are at a very basic level. Like, you load a table and you feel overwhelmed. There's, again, 20,000 rows. What am I going to do with that? Like, people start scrolling up and down, like, what I'm going to ask. And I just want to do a little table. I just want to summarize it. So there's so much value you can add with simple automatic things that we feel like this is the way to go for us. But I guess each company is going to experiment experiences in a different way.
Are you developing new features to integrate new features with your product using AI?
Yes.
And if so, can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, so this one is all a new thing which we're developing right now. We just launched, we launched, I think, 3 new features last week with OpenAI, and we're constantly, I think also this is me advertising our company, but after 5 years of banging our head against the wall, we finally achieved a point at which everyone in the company, engineers, designers, everyone kind of understands what we're trying to solve. So people are extremely autonomous. And so I'm not even involved. Like, we're going to have the 1st of April on Saturday. And an engineer just created a special trick in AI for the 1st of April. And we're going to ship it. And I was testing it today, and it's pretty fun. You can ask questions like, was Trump a good president good president for the United States? Or was José Sócrates a great prime minister in Portugal? And without getting into politics, it throws very cool answers around, which we obviously also trick the AI into generating the kinds of provocations which we wanted. But so we're launching stuff every week. At this stage, OpenAI is such a fast, inexpensive product that in a product like ours, but I would say it's generalizable to most, not to all products, but to most products, you should be shipping stuff, if not weekly, at least monthly. It is super simple to manipulate.
Okay, Liliana, I can see you? No, I can. Fraunhofer has a lot of work done using AI. It's not new for you. It's a long run, indeed. But I think it could be good if you can explain to us, what does it mean, the mention to accountable artificial intelligence in your website?
Sure. Indeed, so just to contextualize, Fraunhofer is indeed a research center, so an applied research center with the purpose of transferring this research to industry, to startups, to big industry, whoever needs our support. So at ICUS, one of these centers of Fraunhofer, Portugal, we do work indeed in AI for a very long time. We started with approaches using, I don't know, natural language processing, computer vision applied to health, to industry, to manufacturing, to nutrition, well, to a lot of applications. But indeed, so just to give you an example, one of the concerns that we had over these last years was developing solutions for healthcare that we call contribute to a decentralized healthcare delivery. This means what? That we can take the healthcare delivery outside of the hospitals of these big units to which only some have access, and to bring the healthcare delivery into the communities, into the homes of people, into the society. So this has been one big approach that we followed for a long time, but especially if you work on the healthcare area, you understand very fast that building solutions that are 100% safe, that are accountable meaning responsible, explainable, that build trust to the end user is absolutely crucial. So without that, of course, nobody will use that. Not only that, we are seeing an evolution of AI in the society, ChatGPT contributing to this hugely, to open the discussion of what will be the adoption, how will society reply to this kind of technologies. That also made us understand that we need to be ready to reply to the next step of AI, as for instance, certifying, ensuring that whatever decision is taken is traceable back. So I need to know that the version of ChatGPT that you actually use to answer your clients was trained in this data that I have full trust with. And when we talk about the technology, that is even not so serious, but if we talk about public solutions that go to the final user, you need to ensure, depending of course on the end use, but healthcare for sure being one of the more risky ones, we need to ensure that we are providing to the end user information that is correct, that is private, that never questions or identifies the data of the users that were used to model and to train those models. We need to ensure that, especially if we are talking about medical doctors, that they do understand which decision they are taking with the support of this technology. And there are several studies that show how much AI can actually mislead a decision, how much the end user, some of them, trust more the algorithm than any other decision that could be actually even better, right? So approaching this with two ways. From one side, from a computer science point of view, for instance, if I'm making a decision based on some computer vision algorithm, I can certainly find ways to highlight which part of the image contributed more for the algorithm to make that proposal, to make that decision, to propose that decision. And this, of course, allows the end user to understand which kind of rationale is being used in this black box that none of us can understand, which are nowadays these models, but also from a very, we call it human-centered design point of view. This means trying to understand before, what does an explanation mean to the end user? So I, as a medical professional, which kind of information is useful for me to be able to make this decision in a more secure way? So this is one way, an example that I normally give to explain the need for this accountability, especially in healthcare, is, for instance, I'm pretty sure that you all are aware of the fact that we have several studies every year that are published, academic, scientific studies that are published, and for some reason they are after taken back because some error was identified. This is the case, for instance, of a very famous vaccination study that was published several years ago, which linked some vaccinations with autism. And you might also know that that is one of the reasons why so much people around the world have concerns in vaccinating even their children, right? So this is a study that in fact was retrieved after because it was not correct, it was fake, it was a study that was purposely motivated and prepared to give those results. If I would train AI algorithms using this data, of course, I would be transmitting to the end user extremely dangerous information that could compromise and have future consequences. So the capability of saying, my algorithm, I certify that my algorithm was trained with good data, that in the future can be retrained, and I certify again this data is something that is concerning us very much at Fraunhofer at the moment, and is, I think, exemplifies well this concept of accountable AI.
Let me ask you something that is very complex about what you are saying about the quality of the data, and ask you again a simple answer or a short answer for something complex. What are the do's and don'ts that you can recommend, because you are experienced user of AI and of data, to the ones that are now beginning to use data to test solutions with AI?
Well, be aware that you can fail. That's the most, I mean, we are extremely excited. Please don't take my words wrong. We are super excited about the moment that we are living, right? I mean, the capability of AI at the moment, the ChatGPT, GPT-4, this is absolutely unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure that this will revolutionize the way we work, the way we live, and society will reply to that. But in the same way that anything can be used for the good, it can be used for the bad. So be aware, be critical, and enjoy it.
Back to Lisbon again. Jorge, public administration is not especially known by moving fast. And in AI, everything, in technology in general, AI is one of the better examples. Things are moving quite faster than public administration generally does. How do you see these two different timelines? And in your role now, working with the GovTech strategy, what can you share with us about the challenges that you have in your job to make it possible, looking to the way that the Portuguese administration is organized and all the challenges that we have outside?
Well, the public administration it's not comparable with the private sector. So I don't think we have to move as fast as the private sector, because we have other obligations for the citizens and for the way we spend the money. The AI is currently in a very big hype with ChatGPT and so on. We are already trying ChatGPT. So from today on, we have a ChatGPT chat inside the Justice portal, but we are trying it. So it's the beta version. Why? Because we have the obligation for the public to give correct answers. And so I don't know if you did this experiment, but you can go to ChatGPT and ask, well, I have a box with that can hold 3 balls, and I have 9 balls. Can I put the 9 balls inside of the box? And ChatGPT will say, no, you can't. They can only hold 3 balls. All right, so now double the size of the box. Can I put the balls inside of the box? And the ChatGPT will say, yes, you can. So we can have this kind of thing as a public institute to give an answer to the citizen, because it's not the correct answers. And so with AI models, algorithms, and process, whatever, we have the obligation to make them as transparent as possible, to give feedback to the public. What was the data that was used to train this model, and what the model do with the data? Because behind the scenes, it's all a matter of statistical analysis. But with these new models, that we can relate concepts. And so if the data is not correct, or the way that the model was designed will relate concepts that are not correct, we have a big problem because we are saying things to the citizens that are not correct, and they're maybe using it to go to services to try to recast something that is not useful. So this is a very big challenge in the public sector. There are a lot of ways to discuss this and to try this, but it is what it is. And also, when we try to move fast, then we have the public procurement procedures. And for those who already tried, there is a lot of time that we spend in the public procurement, so that we can already give the best value to money to the way we spend the tax money. And so with these two kinds of things, have a very strict public procedure and then have the obligation to be very clear and transparent. Of course, it's difficult to move fast and to give the same services that the public sector, because they don't have this kind of obligations, can provide. But we are trying a lot in this project. So we have a big program, as I was telling you, regarding the modernization of the registry services. We are already building a new platform for business owners to register their business and to do all the service that they need to do in the life cycle of the business. We are then going to move to building new online services for the life cycle of citizens. So I don't know if you know, but in the Ministerial Justice there is the court area, to simplify, that deal with, well, the not so great things of life, and then there is registry area where we have we are the better side of justice, because we register babies, and so we are already building a system where we are going to test next week a system with the health ministry, that when the baby is born on the public hospital, it is registered in that moment, and we issue the first citizen's card for the baby. So and we send it by post, so that when the baby arrives home, probably 1 or 2 days later, the postman is knocking on the door to deliver the citizen's card. And with the citizen's card, for instance, is a trademark product and projects for the public administration, because we combine in just one card with a lot of technology, 5 numbers that identify that citizen in the public administration. So we have the citizen number, we have the fiscal number, we have the health number, and the social security number, and the
Poor baby.
Poor baby, yeah. We are born contributors. So, and also the vote number is something that it's gone, but it was in the beginning of the project. And for instance, we are building a new citizen's card that will have NFC technology, so contactless chips, where you can build a lot of new products and services with that chip. We are hoping that with the help of probably some startup, we are going to integrate payments with the citizen's card. Like there are a lot of companies that do this, that they give one card to rule us all, and we want to do that with the citizen card. So we want to put the citizen on the center of all of these ecosystems and give them the possibility to manage their data. And we are going to do this, of course, with the AI also, to identify what are the needs of that citizen on a specific time of their life, and how we can provide better services to them. But of course, there are challenges, but we're hoping that right now with the PRR, the Recuperation Resilience Program, we have a lot of finance to investment to do this kind of projects, and so we are hiring a lot of people also to help us do this kind of challenges.
I do believe that you are also paying attention to things that are being done outside Portugal in different countries.
Yep.
Do you have a good example to share with us? Some country that you see doing.
Well, for instance, in the citizen's card is not specific AI related, but in the citizens card. Brazil recently contacted us to know our experience with this project, because they are building, they are creating the first citizens card that are for all Brazil, because Brazil is a federal country, so a lot of I would say states. Yeah, thank you. And so they have 27 different citizens card, and they are collecting everything in just one. And they are building a blockchain infrastructure to connect the 27 states. That is very interesting, because we are thinking of doing something like that. And so the Brazilian citizens can already ask for a Portuguese citizens card. And with this kind of technology, we will increase the exchange of data, secure data. And if you can do the same thing for the Portuguese-speaking countries, that will be very interesting to create really an area where people can move freely with security and so on. So that's a very interesting project of this kind of technology. We are also looking on blockchain to Estonia. Estonia, the Registry Institute of Estonia, have a parallel blockchain infrastructure, parallel to the normal databases, where they registry the land registry, business registry, property, cars, and so on. We are probably going to try to do the same thing, to try blockchain technology and see if it's helpful for the registry. When you think blockchain, well, the registry cases are the ones that probably came in mind to a lot of people, but there are not that many projects that build something like that. So the Stone example is very interesting.
Okay, thank you. Humberto, if you are listening, I hope so. The $1 million question, what are the best opportunities that you can now identify in our markets, in the Portuguese ecosystem, and how do you think the Portuguese startup ecosystem will answer to this incredible call of AI and to the way that things are happening so fast everywhere, not only in Portugal, of course?
Very easy question.
Very easy.
Thank you. So let me gather my thoughts a little bit. So, okay, let's split this into, let's attempt 3 different areas. First, on the industries, right? I think that there are some under-attacked industries in Portugal. For example, the tourism one, where we are internationally famous, and also real estate, which has its negative problems, has not been attacked by a lot of startups. So there, for sure, there's a lot of potential there. And also wine and different exports, which we naturally have, which have not been attacked by tech. And I think by extension, AI will probably have something to do with that, right? For example, Portugal is made of so many small atomic villages and natural beautiful places, and also monuments, etc., that I imagine that a foreigner who wants to come here doesn't just want to see Lisbon, and then maybe with a 30% chance wants to see Porto, and then maybe with a 5% chance wants to see Braga, etc. I think maybe an AI can actually target better the place in Alentejo or the interior or whatever that matches the specific ambitions of that traveler. And then technically, I think that this explosion of AI always makes people, at least makes me, dream of there's a robot in the kitchen baking a cake, and there's another robot somewhere else making my bed or something else. But this is I think way too many steps, and at least the way I think about it, as for the restraints which some industries have, like the health one, is you can either move fast in automation or you can move fast in being smart. But trying to do both at the same time generally will have some kind of backlash. And the way I mean it is, there probably is not a problem that there is an AI looking at an image from a radiographic machine and a CAT scan or something like that, and just tells the doctor, this is what I think is there, and then the doctor still looks at it. So you get a lot of intelligence to the doctor, but you don't automate it. The machine is not going to operate you. You're not going to link it all until the end. So there's a particular barrier which you establish at some point, and you let the intelligence just go up to there. I think on the other end of the spectrum, if you accept lower intelligence, I think you can automate a lot. For example, translation of tags or classification problems, like really small classification problems, like is there the word X? Is this tweet positive or negative? It's such a small problem. You're not trying to be overly smart. You're not trying to save someone. And so I think if you scope it small in terms of intelligence, then I think you can integrate a lot and you can automate a lot. And so I think that, at least the way I think it, for right now, unless you are a genius, and maybe you're a genius, so go for the maximization of both areas. But we try to think of which way do we want to walk this stair of intelligence versus automation, right? If you want to solve everything, you really better have a complete understanding of the potential consequences, right? You don't want an AI to drive or ride a plane, right? Completely. Like, this is way too much intelligence and way too much automation. So, but maybe some small subsystems in there where the pilot still has control are fine. And then finally, I think that for individuals, so industries, then processes inside the company, and then individuals, I think everyone should start playing around with this thing. It really, I'm a big skeptic, or I was a big skeptic of this new wave of technology, because I worked I had a very, very minor role in driverless cars in 2006 and 2007 in California. Like, I was designing algorithms to see the roads. And back then the systems were, I think that's just TV, matter. The systems were really kind of dumb, and maybe it was because my part of the software was really dumb. But now, as you test it, this is actually becoming quite important. And so I think that what I would recommend everyone do is just go and try and play around with OpenAI and other algorithms. Pay the most expensive version that you can find of those things, which costs, $20, $30, $40 a month, because you really get an awesome experience, and your brain will try to understand these processes, and I think you will find some amazing things for your own good. So we've seen some small ideas. This is a bit distracting, but anyway, it's like building a startup. There's always something happening. One of the ideas is, which we learned, is it is simpler for a company who actually use AI to actually build a company than to actually provide a service to your clients. Right? For example, we built charts into our spreadsheet because every spreadsheet has charts, and the way we did it was pick a library, an open source library that designs charts, and then we did a bunch of custom code around it to translate the chart into an UI where you can select if it's a line or a bar chart. And then we had to also connect it with a schema, with this language, proprietary language, to the data. And so we actually spent 9 months to put charts on our spreadsheet. But now, with OpenAI, you can imagine a world where we just have a little HTML component, and then the user asked for charts, and we are in real time telling the prompt, just go to that library, configure the charts based on that HTML code, and then inject the HTML code in there. And then in a couple of days, you can actually have many more charts than what you accomplished in the beginning in 9 months or so. So I think that first immerse yourself, and then I would also recommend think more about how you're building your own product and what kinds of abstractions and layers you can implement it there, rather than trying to be overly smart, because everyone's trying to go and offer the simple services to your users. I don't know if this made sense, but anyway.
Liliana, to finish with, because I think we have people in the room in Porto and here in Lisbon that want to jump in the discussion, but I would like to listen to you in a final question about what are for you the most promising innovations using AI towards economic growth and the improvement of quality of life that are fields where Fraunhofer is working deeply.
Yep. An easy and short question is
Yes,
healthcare,
always.
of course, right? So we are talking about well-being, so certainly that. But what I would like to mention, for instance, technologies like we've seen and we heard that serve the public, of course, have a huge potential to improve the well-being in our lives. But I would also like to take a leave a note that the reality that we are talking about is one of them. It's the reality of exploring and seeing things in something new and ChatGPT and the future, but also the reality that you see, and a little bit aligning with your message, Humberto, that the reality that we see in industry, in companies. Sometimes it's not this one, right? We are still digitalizing our world. And another thing that I would like, message that I would like to leave with you also, after listening these innovations that we are doing in the public sector. Last week, I had the chance of being in Germany in an event, also AI healthcare related. I don't know if there are any Germans in the room, but one of the things that I brought with me was that actually things like, for instance, our electronic health record that we all use when we go to a hospital, our information is actually digital and we can access to it. You can go to a hospital wherever in the country and the information will be there, is something that still does not exist in Germany. So this is, of course, we do it with assuming some risks, of course. Others protect from every risk and go slower. Where is the best? I don't know. What I know is that we are moving and we are innovating. We have technology. The citizen is being served, and this is very important. Of course, coming from an institution that has vision, proposing futures, impacting lives, I, of course, have to be concerned with, and we are every day, with trying to see ahead how the lives of people will be affected by this technology. And this is something, and a discussion that cannot be taken away just because we are all excited about technology and ChatGPT and all these things. So while we are extremely optimistic, as I said before, and AI has huge potential, do not forget to think and to predict and to discuss intensively with all the stakeholders what will be the consequences of this technology in our lives.
Thank you so much. So now let's open our discussion. I'm sure that there's a lot of questions. Please tell us your name. Okay.
Hi, this is Fernando. I'm startup founder and also from 351 community. So I'm going to try to elaborate a bit on the question. So very recently, we've seen some news about the further developments of ChatGPT. So up to 3 days ago, the model was very limited of information of 2021. But just yesterday or before yesterday, they released the plugins. So now they can actually go to Bing and search recent data and connect with all the different databases and platforms. And on the other hand, there was a very famous news as well that Stanford managed to create a ChatGPT-like language with only 600 euros. So what they actually done, they went to ChatGPT, asked to push some data out of the GPT, and then they used the cloud to train. So pretty much long time ago, like key innovations and technology were on the possession of big companies. But nowadays, this is a really revolutionizing technology that anyone can have it. So it's not owned by a company. Anyone can build your own model and train on their own data, and it's really cheap. So because of this, what's the hottest today and yesterday was a movement that a lot of really key tech people, such as Elon Musk, who was also the founder from OpenAI, was the co-founder of Apple. They were actually said, wait a second. We cannot keep developing AI, and they're doing a movement to say, let's hold up for 6 months while you can have it properly regulated and put some kind of frames there where you can go, what you can do. So I just want to find out what's your opinion related to that. Like, Is it like, should we really regulate it? How should we regulate it? What should be done? Should we wait 6 months so we have standards for the market so we can properly develop the technology? Or should we just let it go and let it be free and see what happens?
Well, there are a lot of challenges with free AI. So the European Parliament is currently working on the AI Act that will regulate AI in the use of AI. There are a lot of different methodologies and processes in AI. For instance, face recognition is not going to be possible in the public areas because we can do that already with a small Raspberry Pi or something like that. You can build that, so it's going to be prevented for us to use. Also, this afternoon, I spent the whole afternoon talking about with the legal sector of the several ministries about algorithm regulations, so that if a case is processed and analyzed through algorithms, we have to publish the algorithm so that anyone can use that information to do a case against the decision or something like that. So it's going to be regulated. I don't think we need to wait 6 months for that, because 6 months from now there is the ecosystem will going to be a lot different. So we must try to regulate as much as we can right now to also to protect the rights of people, because as Liliana was saying, we live in a bubble, so the world and the country is not this room. So if you go to someone in the countryside, and probably the person is not going to use AI for long, or maybe they are using, but it's not in their minds how they can use it and what are the dangers of using it. So we need to protect these people, because technology, of course, can be used in the wrong way. And we won't have the means to protect everything, but at least to have an ethical use of technology, I believe we can do it. Yeah.
More questions? Porto? Is there any question? Eurovision moment again? Do you have any questions? I don't believe you don't have any questions.
I have a question here from Porto, if I may.
Thank you.
I have a question. I didn't get your name, sorry, but I'm really excited about your company, the Rose. And Humberto, all right. I would like to know how do you acquire users in such a market with fighting against Microsoft and Google?
It's a pain. There is no automation to human intention yet. So you still have to have a mixture of, there's this, if you want to split the problem, you can do the performance type of acquisition, which is you do an ad, the ad is very narrow, and you target someone, and then that person has intent because they saw the ad, they click the ad, they're going to go down a funnel, then you convert 3% and 30%, whatever. And then there is the non-performance part. On the performance part, we don't do much of it. Most of it comes organically because people are excited in general about spreadsheets. It's kind of like that area where it's so nerdy that it actually goes the way around and it starts becoming exciting. There's a lot of people who will fight for the spreadsheets and who are very defensive of anything which you do to take data out of their hands and their proprietary, saved on my home folder kind of stuff. And so we play to that. We do some crazy stuff. For example, we bought 2 billboards in front of the Microsoft office and the Google office in the US. And by the way, we didn't spend we just got these electronic billboards where you bid by the minute. Those are LED. So we just paid like $500. We were just there for like a couple of minutes, but then we hired some kids to have some cameras and they shot the camera. Then we sent it, then we sent it to all of the magazines in the world and we got like a bazillion of free press. So you have to play a little bit of that, but then if you only do that, then you're gimmicky. So default is you just have to communicate extremely well what you're trying to do and why that is different. And in our case, we are there's three things which we communicate. We are a spreadsheet, so fully compatible with Excel, blah, blah, blah. And then we want to be the best ones at importing data. In the past, you had CSVs and XLS files. Now everything lives in the cloud. We help you grab data from Google Analytics or BigQuery or Salesforce or whatever. So we want to be the fastest one and the easiest one at that. And then obviously then add a little bit of AI. And finally, we want to be the easiest one to share reports, right? So in the past, you shared an Excel or Google Sheets file and it opened on a desktop and every computer looks the same. But now you have smartphones and those gigantic grids with a chart on top of a table doesn't really look good when you're trying to send something to an investor or to a client. So we kind of applied some of the tricks that other products applied and we made it easier. So I think my answer is always invest in the product first and then have clear communication. And around it, you should have a number of different experiments which are bold and exciting. And by the way, these launches of AI have been the best thing ever for our acquisition. That said, we're still way too small. We're only 50,000 users, and we should be 1 million. You know, this is what people expect of us, that we deliver 1 million. If we don't deliver 1 million users, we might as well close down the company and build something else. So it is pretty hard. If you think you can do best, maybe we should hire you.
Any more questions? Here in the room in Lisbon? No? In Porto? Any questions?
Can I challenge?
Yes, of course.
Well, on the last speech, I think there was an opportunity there to build a digital twin. So if any one of you is working on something like that, digital twins, I will gladly would like to speak with you, because we would like to put digital twins on the public registries, so that for business, for land and property, for cars, for boats, whatever. So it's something that we like to work on it, and there is a lot of AI technology on that. And I believe that it is the future for the public registry. So if any of you is working or will work on that, please give us a call.
So this is this quarter hackathon.
Oh, it can be. It can be.
I think there's a question from Porto. Sorry.
Porto. Okay.
Should I ask?
Back to Porto.
Back.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. We just come today from Villarreal with my friend, and we are Erasmus students. We are students at Turkey. And my question is, after all these explanations, I am a mechanical engineer and I am mechanical master student here. And I worked at the companies as a mechanical design engineer. So I am worried about ChatGPT can take the picture, for example, for this speaker holder, and they can link some 3D design programs. And if I ask ChatGPT, please design this speaker holder, so I screwed because that's my job. So I am wondering about how can I keep my knowledge according to this technology. This is amazing. The opportunities is wonderful, but from the beginning conversation, I am thinking this: how can I keep my knowledge update? Thank you so much.
Liliana, maybe you can answer this. Always easy.
Always. Well, I don't believe that your job is under jeopardy. So first of all, and I was giving that example some days ago. So when I finished my degree in the area of informatics, some of the jobs that we would have in front of us would be to develop a website. So that would be a common job for an informatics engineer. Nowadays, my son of 13 years old plays at the end of the day with ChatGPT, telling him, create me a website about this or that. And it does a much better job in some seconds that we would do in weeks. That means that we don't need informatics engineers? No, right? It means that the job evolved and adopted, and I think that's what will happen with mechanical engineers and doctors and all of us, that we will need to keep adapting, evolving, and finding new things to do. Will this be true to every profession? There will be no job loss. Well, I wouldn't say that, of course, but is my job as mechanical engineer lost? Well, not at all, not at all, because I don't know what is exactly your job. You're a student. My job is very much problem solving with a lot of things that some I can ask ChatGPT, others absolutely not, because they handle the most complex thing that exists, that is people. So that one will be hard to automate.
Well, now let's finish with our session. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you to our speakers. And thank you, Startup Portugal,
Thank
for
you,
organizing
Ruth.
all this.
I want to thank to our panelists. I want to ask for a big round of applause also for everyone in Porto and Lisboa. I'd also want to remind you that we still have our calls for our Business Abroad program to take startups to international conferences and to know international markets. So if you're interested in going to Brazil, France, Spain, or Canada, please, you can still apply. We'll be launching Empreende 21 next week, so stay tuned to these news. And I hope to see you in the next Hangout in April. Okay, so see you now upstairs for some networking. Thank you. Bye-bye, Porto.
Bye-bye.